Are you currently subscribed to a streaming service, a software, a gym membership, or something else? If so, then this video is for you. We're going to show you why everything became a subscription and how this business model has become so popular among companies. Welcome to the Peak Performance channel, the place where you come to be inspired to create a more prosperous future. In recent years, we've seen a shift in the way we consume products and services, from streaming platforms like Netflix and Spotify to software like Adobe Creative Cloud. More and more companies are moving away from traditional one-time purchases into subscription models. In fact, according to a recent study, the subscription economy is projected to grow to over $600 billion by 2023. So, whether we realize it or not, subscriptions have become a major part of how we consume products and services. And in this video, we'll take a look at the reasons behind this shift and how it's affecting the way we live and work. We'll also explore the pros and cons of subscribing to everything and what the future of subscriptions may look like. So, sit back and join us as we dive into the world of subscriptions. The reason that many things have become subscription-based is that investors like companies with subscription services, especially in the tech industry. The next question, though, is why do investors like this business model? Well, there are 4 reasons. The first is that it makes more expensive products easier to sell. For example, if Netflix was a one-time purchase product, it would cost at least $2,000 for the basic ad-free plan. Investors like companies that use the subscription business model because it makes it easier for people to afford expensive products like Netflix. Instead of paying a one-time price of $2,000, customers pay a monthly fee of around $8.99. And this is more beneficial for the company as they can keep getting paid every single month, and it's more manageable for the customer. Additionally, the present value of the recurring subscription is worth more than the future value of the subscription for several reasons. Firstly, by receiving the money now, it can be reinvested to make more money through investments or other business opportunities. Secondly, money in the future will be worth less due to inflation, so receiving the money now will have more purchasing power. However, an upfront business model or a one-time payment model also has its benefits. For example, by receiving the money up front, the company can put it into its account and not have to worry about customers cancelling their subscriptions. Additionally, this model may be more beneficial for established companies as they can use this money to invest in new products or services. But again, the one-time payment model may not be as successful for new companies as not many people would be willing to pay a large upfront cost. The second reason that investors love subscription businesses is that it makes businesses easier to operate and scale. A subscription business has money coming in every month. A business that makes its money from direct sales will have good and bad months. A few bad months can make them stop new projects and lay off employees, and this can stop the business from growing. Subscription businesses are the best because there's a low cost to acquire customers and then you make money every month. Single-sale businesses can avoid some problems by keeping more cash on hand, but that cash comes from investors who would rather see the money used to grow the business. Subscription businesses have their own issues though, but their income is steadier because most of their revenue doesn't come from new sales to new customers all the time. And predictable revenue means that the company can plan their expenses more in advance. They don't need to keep a lot of cash around to protect them from a bad quarter, so instead the money could be used to grow the business immediately. The third reason that investors like subscriptions are because it gives businesses a chance to have an ongoing relationship with a group of customers. This is pretty straightforward. If a customer buys something once, then a business won't be able to collect data about how they use their product or services as they would. But if that customer had an account that they used to access an ongoing subscription, this would let businesses tailor products based on user data and also sell new services to an ongoing pool of customers if they develop a new product. One last reason that investors love subscriptions is because other investors also love them. Subscription-based companies often have predictable revenue streams, which can make them more appealing to investors looking for stability and predictability in their investments. Additionally, subscriptions are becoming more popular among consumers, which can make them a more attractive investment opportunity for investors looking to capitalize on current trends. As more companies adopt subscription-based models and they become more common, they may also be considered a safe and stable investment by investors. By backing startups, venture capital firms are responsible for the success of subscription platforms that have taken over our world. These investors provide capital to both new and existing companies in order to allow them to build out their offerings, gain customers, and scale up operations. Now, some companies lose money for a long time to grow quickly. They know their business model only works if they become big. This is called blitz scaling in the venture capital space. Venture capital firms don't want to own these companies forever. They eventually want to sell them so they can raise money to invest in more ventures. Now, here's a quick reminder before we continue. Make sure you smash that like button and hit the subscribe and notification button if you haven't already done so, as it means that YouTube sends you more of these kinds of videos and it also helps our channel as well. So, let's get back to the video. There are reasons to worry about the subscription model for everything, but there are also some good things that come from it. In the interest of having a well-rounded discussion, I want to start with those. Subscriptions are an excellent way to try out a product before you commit to buying it. You can return it if you don't like it, but that could be difficult if it's a large purchase. With a subscription, you can spread the cost across multiple months, making it easier to fit into your budget. Now, if companies rely on money from people subscribing to their products, then they will need to keep updating those products. If they don't, their subscribers might go to a competitor instead. Adobe Photoshop used to be available as a one-time purchase. You could buy it on a CD at Radio Shack for about $350, which was very expensive at the time. Once you had it, you never had to pay for it again. But that was the version of Photoshop you would use until you went out and bought the updated copy for another one-time fee. According to a recent study from Wes Monroe, a technology consulting firm, the average individual spends nearly $300 per month on tech-related subscriptions, while traditional memberships such as gym and club fees are not factored into this figure. There are a lot of people who cannot afford to spend $1,000 on one thing, so if they have to spend $300 on something, it will hurt them financially. They might not even know about it. A study found that most people spend more money on subscriptions than they think, an average of $133 a month, or around $1,500 per year. This is enough to more than double what most people save each year. But some companies take advantage of people by limiting contact with customers who are not using their services anymore. The companies hope that the customers will forget about their subscription and keep paying it even though they're not using the service. And this way the company makes money without the customer ever knowing. This is an extreme case, but most companies are offering a service that people don't really need. At some point, people need to take responsibility for their own spending. Companies are pushing subscriptions for products that don't really need to be subscriptions. For example, car manufacturers such as Toyota have announced plans to charge people for features that are already installed on the car. If car manufacturers are allowed to do this, they will, because their investors will want them to make money from subscription services. Overall, while the subscription model has its advantages such as convenience, flexibility and cost effectiveness, it also has its drawbacks such as the risk of overspending and the potential for customer fatigue. It's important for individuals to be aware of their spending on subscriptions and to make conscious decisions about which subscriptions they need and which they can do without. Companies also have a responsibility, though, to be transparent about their subscription offerings and not take advantage of their customers. Additionally, it's important for people to be aware of the potential for companies to charge for features that are already included with the product or service. As a subscription model continues to evolve, it's important for both individuals and companies to be aware of its potential effects on their finances and to make informed decisions. And that's it. I hope you learnt a lot from this video. Thank you for being all ears throughout the entire video. To create his effort, to copy his genius, Albert Einstein. And if you want to expand your income by building an online income, well, feel free to contact me so we'll get things moving right away. And remember, if you want to change your life, let's make a change together. You need to make a change.